Alright, so now we got to this point, and it's probably taken an incredible amount of patience if you're just new to ZBrush, and I applaud you for getting this far. So let's go further, right? Why stop? Let's go to pinch. And what I'm going to do with this is just hit some of the major forms and use the add feature here. So like take for example right here, I'm just kind of hitting on top of the major forms and pinching some of these together. And I'm also pinching some of these natural bumps together. This will add an incredible amount of detail to your model and harden up some of this exoskeleton. And if you see something you missed, you can just always insert a couple of these pinches in areas. Trust me when I say it really does help. When you turn on wireframe, you'll see that it does pinch it, and this will produce a really nice texture later on. Okay, so in this area, I'm just going to kind of pinch these forms together at the very edges of them, and it's going to give that hard edge look. And you can see that just bringing it out every time. So you want to produce a lot of contrast in your model, because when you go to texture it, you're using the model to texture it and not a bunch of fancy tricks with the texturizing brush. Because I will say that texturing something, if you're really good at it, that's one thing. You can go in Photoshop and make this awesome texture for this, and you can use a few of the tricks that I showed you before in some of the other videos. But this, I'm using more of the natural ability of its contrast to produce maps, and those maps closely relate to the surface, and they match very well. If you're just kind of going in Photoshop and making a bunch of noise and throwing it on top, it doesn't really match very well. And then if it doesn't match, it just looks awful. Okay, in this case, I want to kind of go in here with the standard brush and subtract just a little bit in this area and kind of blend it together. There we go. Just giving it the illusion of some kind of pincher in that area, and it's two separate parts. Then I'm just kind of looking it over. I mean, is it missing anything? Could it use a few more forms? Is it boring? I would say these legs really do need some help sometimes, so I can subtract a little bit in these areas, help it out. Help separate those forms a little bit better. These are okay. These ones at the bottom are fine. And then maybe just add a little bit to the top too. Then I'm going to go hopping in here and type in dragonfly legs. Kind of see what's up with those. Is there anything special? Oh, they got these little feeler things. Okay. Now that would be an incredibly hard thing to do via the low and high res representation of the model. So I can't do the little feeler things, but you can see there's nothing really special about these legs other than they're a little bit harder edge on parts of them. So I'm going to take the polish brush, the H polish, and I'm just going to kind of polish these down just a little bit in spots. And try to blend the two forms together a little bit. And I'm polishing up here. And shift to kind of give it an edge. There we go. That's about as much detail as I want to get with the legs. And I'm seeing if everything makes sense. Good. Meet me in the next video where I show you just a little bit more about maybe this area here.